She's so fine. Hell of a hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a hell of a lights my day.
His words to me was, why did he shoot me? What did I do? And he just started crying. I can't describe it. Like, he ran to me. He was bleeding.
We want justice now. We demand justice now, and you have 48 hours to terminate the chief. If our demands are not met, starting on Thursday morning, we will occupy City Hall.
Immediately, MBI, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, responded here in town. They took over the case regarding an officer-related shooting. They have full autonomy to investigate. Of course, we can't police our own, so that's why we call in an outside entity. So we're now awaiting their findings regarding the shooting. Our hearts and prayers go out to the family of that 11-year-old. Our hearts and prayers go out to the officer and his family as well.
What's good, guys? Today is Thursday, May the 25th, 2023. This story is coming out of Indianola, Mississippi. Came out roughly an hour ago. Mom demands answers after 11-year-old son allegedly shot by police officer at home. A Mississippi mom is demanding justice after she says her 11-year-old son was allegedly shot and injured by a police officer who responded to their home. Nakala Murry says she was asleep when around 4 a.m. on Saturday, she heard a knock on her window and saw her daughter's father standing there. I noticed he was kind of irate, and from dealing with him in the past, I know the irate version of him, what it can lead to. Murray said she gave her phone to her 11-year-old son, Aderrien, and told him to call his grandmother. He called the police first, and then he called my mom, she said. My mom also called the police. 2 officers responded to the home in Indianola, about 100 miles northwest of Jackson, Mississippi, and Nakala Murry said the police yelled for her to open the door. My child's father was still there. He was like, "Don't open the door." I was telling him that I'm going to open the door. He ran back towards the house, the back of the house, and the police started kicking on the door with their foot, like they were trying to break it down. Nakala Murry opened the door. When she opened it, an officer's gun was up. He told her to come out, she said. I went out. I got out of the way. I walked out towards the end of my driveway where my mom was, and I heard a shot, and I saw my son run out toward where we were. He fell bleeding, she said. I put pressure on it to help stop the bleeding. Nakala Murry said Aderrien, who was shot in the chest, has since been released from the hospital. He's in pain, but overall he's doing well, she said. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, which is investigating, said officers responded to a domestic disturbance and a minor was significantly hurt from an officer-involved shooting. The results of the investigation will be shared with the Mississippi Attorney General's office, the agency said. Now, Nakala Murry recalls that Aderrien told the 911 dispatcher there was no gun present at the home. She also told responding police at her front door that there wasn't a gun there, and she thought her ex had fled out the back door. The Indianola officer who shot Aderrien has been suspended. Indianola Mayor Ken Featherstone told ABC News today. Nakala Murry's attorney, Carlos Moore, said the Indianola officer who allegedly shot Aderrien should be fired and prosecuted for aggravated assault. Carlos Moore also called for the firing of the Indianola police chief and said the body camera footage should be released. Aderrien looks like a child. He's very short and his stature is very thin. There's no way he could have been confused for a man. We are demanding justice, Carlos Moore said. We want immediate termination, we want prosecution, and we want the family to get some answers. Of course, the Indianola Police Department did not immediately respond to ABC News' request for comment. Now, in a tweet by attorney Carlos Moore, he says that his client, Aderrien Murry, is blessed to be home and alive. He is a remarkable young man and did not deserve to be shot as an 11-year-old innocent child by an Indianola cop named Greg Capers. Hashtag justice for Aderrien Murry. Now, you can see his height compared to Carlos Moore. And Carlos Moore doesn't look to be a big man at all. So, and you can even tell with Carlos Moore standing next to Aderrien's mother, Nakala Murry, that he's not a big man. So, how this police officer thought that this 11-year-old child was a grown-ass man is beyond me. This is where these split-second decisions make all the difference in the world. She had told you there was no gun in the home. The child told the dispatch that there was no gun in the home. She had told you that her daughter's father had fled to the back of the house. So why would you shoot this 11-year-old child? I do not understand it. Now, as Nakala Murry stood next to her attorney, Carlos Moore, and about a dozen protesters with signs that read, "Your best cop shot my baby. Fire Greg Capers now. And release body cam footage." She did say he is doing well. He's blessed. She doesn't know how else to describe it. How else to describe how he survived this. Aderrien, has a lot of questions. He had asked her in the hospital why they shot him. He was in good spirits, but every now and then I'll look over at him and he'll just be crying. 4 days after this shooting, Nakala Murry has told CNN that no one came to the hospital from the police station, nor had she spoken to any police investigators about the shooting. Now, that's just basic human respect. You don't even have the decency to show up at the hospital? Carlos Moore has called the officer's action, Greg Capers, asinine. You look first and then you shoot. You don't shoot first and then look. That is asinine. This is asinine. And he was once called the best cop in Indianola. If you are the best, you need to close this entire police department because Greg Capers is worse than Barney, Fife, and Mayberry. So true. So true. Moore and 8 other family members entered Indianola City Hall where no cameras were allowed. They walked out approximately 15 minutes later, and Nakala Murry was apparently visibly shaken. Miss Murry has had all she can take. She has pre-existing anxiety, and this has worsened her anxiety. The mayor has not shown her any sympathy. We basically sat there and voiced our opinions. We asked the mayor to say something to the family and offer some sort of comment on behalf of the city. If they're sorry, let them know they're sorry. The mayor would not say anything. The attorney is demanding that within 48 hours, the incident's body camera footage is released and the involved officer and his police chief be fired. Now, one more time, for those in the back. This 11-year-old child was coming around the corner of a hallway into the living room. Once he came around the corner, he got shot. Why would you shoot an 11-year-old coming around a corner? Did you not look him in his face? You just shot first? Aderrien was given a chest tube and placed on a vent at the University of Mississippi Medical Center in Jackson after developing a collapsed lung, fractured ribs, and a lacerated liver because of this shooting. He was released from the hospital today. 2 other children, including Nakala Murry's daughter and 2-year-old nephew, were also in the home at the time of the shooting. Attorney Carlos Moore said he would be filing a federal civil lawsuit against the city of Indianola, the police chief, and Greg Capers. He said that yesterday. He also requested that the Department of Justice perform a pattern or practice investigation of Indianola's Police Department, a tool the Department of Justice utilizes to bring about lawful and fair policing. Monday evening, the Indianola Board of Aldermen voted to place Capers on paid administrative leave while the shooting is investigated, according to the family attorney. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation said the agency is currently assessing this critical incident and gathering evidence, and would turn over its findings to the state Attorney General's office after their investigation is complete. And I believe I have lost faith in the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, particularly after the case of Rasheem Carter. So I just wanted to bring this story to the channel. It needs to be watched. The Department of Justice needs to step in. Greg Capers needs to be fired. I do understand the administrative leave thing, just simply because that's in a contract, and that's how the process is. I don't like it. He shouldn't be getting paid while they investigate him shooting an 11-year-old child, but I understand that process. I'm going to continue to follow this case. This case sickens me. I don't know what's going on in Mississippi, but some things need to be changing around there. I'm going to end the video on that note. Thanks for watching, guys.